podcast without rules. Well, let me tell you, it's alcohol content. Welcome back. What's going on, okay? It's hot in here, and we're having a hard time starting this podcast. This is probably the 5th, the 8th time we've done this. I don't even remember anymore. I'm in a heat haze.
Delirious.
We're getting into it because we got a little bit longer one. We're going to have to drink this whiskey in this clammy environment. So before we get into that whiskey, who are we drinking with? We got Ryan.
I'm clamming up.
Yeah, I can see it. You're real clammy. Here, let me touch my hands. Yeah, clam.
Oh, ew. Oh,
yeah,
God.
we got problems, folks.
Oh.
And we got the clam meister himself. We got Rick.
Cheers.
Clam chowder.
Clam chowder,
I'm
Rick.
verklempt.
Verklamped.
And we got Mr. Dusty Basements. We got Alex.
The DJ DB.
Oh, yeah. Our second DJ here. Because we got DJ Whoopie Kush.
Of
We
course.
got DJ Dusty Basements. And if you don't know that reference, please go watch the episode we just did because it explains, he lives in dusty basements. Very literal. That's what we do here, folks. And I'm Austin. What are we doing, boys?
Sweating.
I'm sweating.
Besides clamming?
Yeah.
We're clamming.
What are we drinking?
We're drinking some Basil Hayden. So this is basically a Jim Beam episode, quite frankly. And what incited us to do this is we have some Basil Hayden. It's a Jim Beam product. And so people that sort of know me, they know I like whiskey or whatever. And so they go out and they'll buy me a gift. So this is the 3rd bottle of Basil Hayden. So these are people that, don't really know whiskey, but they go to the shelf and they go, okay, Rick likes whiskey. What should I get? Well, I don't want to appear cheap. So they buy, Basil Hayden's is $50, $53 or whatever. And it's really nice looking.
I'm looking at
Very
that
nice.
belt.
Yeah, no, it looks super classy.
This is from the Rust Belt.
This is the 3rd bottle of Basil Hayden's I've been gifted. And so that's why we're doing it. What the whole objective today is let's taste. We just opened this as a brand new bottle that I was gifted. Thank you, Ashley. And we're going to taste it and compare it to some other, not every Jim Beam product made, but some other Jim Beam products and just see if Basil Hayden holds up even with its own family, within its own family of Jim Beam. So that's what it's about. So this is Basil Hayden. It's 80 proof. Its mash bill is 63% corn. It's high rye, 27% rye, and 10% malted barley.
Well, got that 63% corn on the nose. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely I can smell corn.
Maize.
Maize.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a different language. I think that this smells like an 80 proof bourbon.
You would be so correct.
It's light.
You come here for the hot takes.
Yes. Like, why else is the Bourbon Master Tasting Whiskey? He's going to give you the truth. Okay. So this is not offensive in any way.
No. The nose is actually fairly pleasant, but it's a little weak or light. Yeah.
80 proof for sure. I can stick my schnoz in there. It's not going to be burning.
Vanilla.
Yeah. There's some exactly, Alex.
A little vanilla on the nose.
Yeah, there's some
Vanilla.
pleasant notes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little vanilla, a little apple, a little honey, even maybe.
You get apple? I don't get
I get a little bit of apple.
What kind of apple?
I want to say
Green?
sort of Granny Smithish.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you say everything with a question, you're pretty much right all the time.
Are you?
Apple?
Pretty non-committal.
Am I right?
Non-committal in general.
Yeah.
I'm the best?
Bourbon Master?
DJ DB, DJ don't bother.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't bother?
Yeah. So, ooh. I got a little banana.
Sure.
That's actually kind of nice, like a freshly cut banana.
Really?
You cut
With-
bananas?
Completely yellow or with some spot?
Like a very
This guy's crazy.
Weirdo guy cuts his fruit over here.
I put them in the smoothies. You can't just put a whole banana in
In
a
your
smoothie.
mouth at this once.
Well, yeah. This is basically a biological blender.
Do you open your bananas? Do you open them from the stem
He
side or
cuts
from
them,
the other
apparently.
side?
Oh, I go from the stem. I'm not a monkey.
Right, as God intended.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I just squeeze as hard as I can from the bottom.
Like a Go-Gurt?
Makes a
Go-Gurt.
cartoon noise. It goes whoop. Yeah.
No, somebody saw me open one from the sort of stem side and said, "You're doing it wrong," and they opened it from the other side.
From the nub
Yeah.
side?
Yeah, from the nub side.
No, that's some new age social media
Nean-
bullshit. That's some fucking bullshit.
They evolved from the Neanderthals, okay? So that makes sense. But here in America, here,
That's just propaganda.
yeah.
That's big banana just pushing an agenda.
That's just TikTok trying to tell you how you're living your life wrong.
Yeah.
They're just
So
desperate.
it's China.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
speaking of bananas, this kind of smells like a banana every once in a while.
It's got
Freshly
some.
cut, I've heard.
It's got some big
Yeah.
Esther character for
Yeah.
sure.
Whoa.
Who's Esther?
Great question.
Who brings in Esther? That's a beer
What is
thing.
this guy, a brewer?
Yeah, what is-
brew beer? What's going on
He
here?
brews.
I'm sorry.
Alex is a
is that
brewer.
word not allowed here? I apologize.
That's just
No.
no one says Esther in whiskey.
Okay.
Not on this podcast.
He just did.
We
Yeah.
do.
He's
Yes.
bringing it
We
in.
just opening new doors. Look
Yeah.
at the our subscribers are just ticking off the. It's crazy. We have like 50 more subscribers.
Taking off like they're dropping.
I was gonna say like leaving because they did not come for the word Esther.
They
Yeah.
did not like that.
Yeah.
Has anybody tasted versus just smelled?
Definitely get banana apple, that kind of brighter fruit, rather than the typical sort of, I say typical, but darker fruit being like cherry, date kind of thing. And then I'm definitely getting a lighter.
You're totally right.
Wow, a lot of that banana fruitiness goes really hard into the tongue. I get a lot of Lesters on here. Lesters.
Lester Holt.
Yeah. This is kind of interesting. On my first taste, 80 proof, so super smooth, enjoyable. That banana note is coming through on the mouth, and I'm enjoying it.
It's hard to, now that we've said it, it's hard to get past banana.
Yeah.
It is interesting. I mean,
Very smooth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
when's the last time we've had a straight up 80 proof whiskey? I feel like most of them
maybe some
made now.
Scotch, but
Yeah, most of them now are starting to kick up even
Yeah.
to the, like 90 proof or whatever. That seems to be standard. Which I'm pretty sure, didn't Beam say that this was like to convert Scotch people to bourbon? Like that's what this bottle was partly for?
way back in the day. Now they've of course refurbished and remarketed the bottle, but way back in the day, that was in theory the intent.
Yeah, which makes
So
sense why it's 80
Scotch
proof.
was 80 proof for sure. At least most of it was. And then, but it's like I say, to me, it's like this has been picked up for me 3 different times. So clearly on the shelf, it's very alluring for people to pick up.
I do get some wood on like a nice bigger mouthful. I do get some like some
do we
wood
have an
character.
age statement?
It's a non-age stated, although at one point in time it used to be age stated, and but that's been years and years ago, 8 years or whatever.
Oh, it's definitely not 8 years.
No. I mean,
This is pretty young.
but here's what I will say: I haven't tasted Basil Hayden in a long time, so this is one of the bottles gifted that we just opened. I'm going to say this: it's inoffensive in every single way. It's easy to drink. It's got some okay flavors. I would say if it wasn't proof down to 80, this could, like if this was 100 proof or something like that, I maybe would have, I could maybe be talking more about it. But it's proof down. But again, we're sort of hardcore in that, we've had quite a few different things to taste at higher proof. So maybe this is a good entry bourbon for people at 80 proof.
Yeah, this is certainly something where it's like you're supposed to drink this every day. Like I drink Basil Hayden. I feel like that's kind of what they're going for. They're going for someone who this is what they drink. It's super easy to drink. This is what my granddad drinks. This is what I drink. This is what my son's going to drink. So
This is what I'm giving my 10-year-old
Yeah.
son right now.
He's drinking Basil Hayden from the day he was born. It's super unoffensive, and I actually am having fun with the banana note. I think that was kind of a fun surprise, but nothing that'll blow your mind.
Also love a good accessory
Yeah,
as far as the belt goes.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, the sort of the
You can always
copper
hold your pants
metal
up. It's always a
looking.
good
Appreciate
thing to
some
get.
good accessorizing.
All right, hot take just on this. I'll be a little dissenting. I think they're upselling buttered noodles. It's so just down the narrow, like kind of whatever. It's not bad by any means. It's very drinkable, but it's just boring to me. And they're upselling it and marketing it like it's a high-end bourbon.
Oh, for sure. You're
And-
paying for that belt.
And that's why it takes it down a few notches in my mind. Like this, if they were selling this for $20, it'd be like, perfect. This is a entry level bourbon, can go to anybody, whatever. For people that are daily drinkers, Like that makes sense to me.
So are you, and this is just as non-accusatory, are you, what a preface.
Are you used to having bad opinions or what?
Are you a total idiot? No. It's, just for clarification, for me, you are associating quality with complexity, and thus saying this is not complex enough and is so
For the price
lower
point.
quality.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be complex in the like a crazy different profile, though we do enjoy those where it's like super weird and different just because we've had so many bottles. But it's not like there are other bottles that I've had that are inexpensive and dense and complex, and this is not that. This very much feels watered down to me. So it's not bad, but it's just kind of boring.
Sure.
Like you're not wrong with like the kind of fruit notes, like the estery, banana-y sort of notes in there, but that's sort of all it kind of is to me. And I wouldn't drink this very often.
Well, and I think I'm saying the same thing you are, just in different words. Where I'm saying I don't dislike this. I just wish it was 100 proof. I'm just throwing out a proof as opposed to 80, and that usually with proof comes flavor. And does that make sense?
Sure.
And so
Is-
it would amplify the flavors up. So we're saying the same thing. They took this. It's a money maker. Let's
well, and I'm
water it
going
down
the
to
other
80.
way. I'm
Yeah.
thinking it like our entire series we did, where it was the under $30 series of bourbons. There are so many amazing bottles that are $20 to $27 that I would prefer to drink than this for 50 plus.
Well,
That's where it's
speaking of
value
which-
wise. I don't think it's there.
we've given the whole spiel on Basil Hayden, right? This is essentially an episode we could cut right here and just put out this episode, but we're not done, folks. Okay, so
Because we're hanging out.
Exactly.
So if you're a Basil Hayden, if you like Basil Hayden, maybe there's some other options for you in the
Maybe
same
you hate
Jim.
me now.
no, maybe in the same Jim
Wouldn't be
Beam
the first.
family. That I mean, I can tell you that I've done blinds before, and several of the others in the Jim Beam family. Some of the people were Basil Hayden drinkers, but it was blind. They didn't know what they were drinking, and they chose some of these other options we're going to talk about. Not everybody every time, but quite a few with a high percentage. So this next thing that we're going to drink is also Jim Beam. It's Old Granddad.
I'll put it right here.
One of the ugliest labels you can see.
Truly.
Ironically, the person lit on here is Basil Hayden.
oh,
So that is Basil Hayden Sr.
Full circle.
So here, let me hit you. So this is
Thank you.
bottled and bond. It is the exact same mash bill
okay.
as Basil Hayden. Only it's 100 proof. It's bottled and bond, so it's at least 4 years. And
So when you were talking about how you wish that was 100 proof,
I was going to say,
it's
the number
literally
you
just this
the
bottle.
number you threw out.
it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same mash bill.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which not all the stuff from Beam that we're going to taste is the exact same mash bill. So this is a high rye mash bill again 77 corn, 63 corn, 27 rye, 27% rye, 10% malted barley.
Which it's crazy that both of these have a good amount of rye,
Yeah.
and I got 0 rye from the Basil Hayden, and I can't remember if you really get rye
It's
from this.
with the 27% rye, it's considered a high rye mash bill. Rye being the
yeah,
second
you can
grade.
smell the rye in this,
Yeah, I do get it on this one. Yeah.
which is interesting.
So again, same exact mash bill, same distillate, but this is aged at least 4 years minimum because it's bottled and bond. We don't know the Basil Hayden what it's aged, and it's watered down to 80. So again, depending on what our tasting notes are, if you like Basil Hayden,
Some heat on the nose.
yeah, it's coming more. Yeah, definitely. There's more. on
But
the
it's
nose.
already darker. Like it's
Darker. Yeah.
Similar but darker.
yeah. But it's
And the-
weird that this is, I don't know what the Basil Hayden is aged, but it would be weird to me if it was aged less than this,
Sure.
But this already seems like it's heavier, darker, more barrel maybe.
I think that heat is also accented by rye spice.
Yeah, this is interesting. So tasting it, this packs a lot more flavor, and it is darker even on the tongue. It is very similar. Obviously, they're the same mash bill, but it's like all of those notes, and then it's just kind of like, all right, we're gonna go deeper and darker with it, and much less easier to drink. I would say the flavor, it packs more flavor, but it's not as light This is much heavier.
Correct.
This is much easier to drink, and it's not terrible.
The Basil Hayden is much easier.
But
Sure.
this is also cheap and more complex and interesting.
Peppermint.
Yeah.
I'm
I
picking
mean,
up.
dude, the rye is
Right,
coming
yeah,
through
yeah.
with
There's-
those rye notes.
I get a
sure.
little cinnamon, a little peppermint,
Yeah,
a little
peppermint
mint.
hangs around on
Yeah.
the tongue.
It's also rich. Good.
Yeah.
I
I mean, this is a classic bottle.
I really like this. Did really well in our under
Yeah.
30.
Under 30,
series.
it took third place out of what 16
For good reason.
bottles or whatever.
I mean, it's rich, has some nice viscosity, good bottle and bond burn.
It does at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a fantastic bottle.
I always like this bottle.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would
So-
say this is a easy. If you want to like bump it up, this is it. I mean, this is actually is kind of funny. It looks like a really nice gift. This is a better gift to give. It's cheaper and it looks terrible.
yeah, so
It does look
old
pretty
granddad bottle and bond's about $25.
It's half the price.
So it's
Yeah.
That's
less than
insane.
half the price. So now
Half
here's
the
the
price,
deal.
double the
I'm not
flavor.
trying to seriously not try. If you like Basil Hayden and stuff, there's definitely good notes and stuff going on there. Then all power to you. But this one you can taste the rye. It's there's some rye fun stuff happening. It's just more complex. There's deeper. It's more going on than the Basil Hayden.
Yeah. Personal preference aside, I like subjectively, I guess objectively, never mind. That's the one. Objectively. Yeah. I don't know that I can even call one of these quote better than the other, just to kind of come back to what I was kind of saying before is it depends on what you want, right?
Right.
We talk about this with all kinds of other alcohols about sometimes simpler can be better, sometimes simpler can be what you prefer, smoother, right? And so just two different things.
Which is crazy that they're so different.
Well, if you want to get wild with it, this is 100 proof. If you don't, let's say you want to get more value out of it. So $25, more flavor, more richness, everything. You could even water it down if it's too much for you. And then you're still going to probably have a better bottle.
Well, and that's what I've been sort of doing here with drops of water, just
Yeah.
seeing what happens.
So it's kind of interesting. Like, this is the ultimate value bottle
It's super up there.
for sure. It's one of our favorites.
Ooh.
But it's kind of interesting. If you are a big fan of the Basil Hayden, you may not like this bottle because it's really
Could come
rich.
It might be a little too
could come
intense.
at
It's a
you.
little too hot for
But
you.
that's why I'm just sort of playing with adding
Yeah.
water to it, and it's definitely
So
it's
rich.
clearly taken the proof down, but
Malty.
a lot of the flavors are still there. Those bolder flavors
Yeah.
are
Big-
still there.
Big malt.
I mean, if you find this, you
Mm.
pick it up. It's so cheap.
It's an essential
Yeah.
for any bar.
Is it
for
hard to
sure.
find?
No,
Not really. no.
Actually, it's harder to find lately, just because everything's harder to find. If
Yeah.
anything's good, it's hard to find. I have yet to be able to find one of these bottles.
Oh, really?
oh, really?
You got to hop the state border.
Well, I'm not trying to drive 2 hours to go get a $25 bottle of whiskey.
You get a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Different taxes.
Just
too.
add it in.
This is old granddad's been in production since 1882. Even during the Prohibition, the company took it over for medicinal purposes. So it's literally this name has been around for what? You're laughing because I couldn't say medicinal?
Correct.
Love, for God's sake.
Medicinal purposes.
Medicinal purposes.
Maleficent perforations.
I love Angelina
All right,
Jolie.
so we got option one.
So let me just say this to cap it off. If I would say, depending on what kind of level of bourbon drinker you are, you should get this bottle if you can find it for super cheap because it's not expensive, and just drink this until you really like it.
It's really good.
Because once you start really liking this, everything else is going to
Yeah.
get way better.
All right, so I'm gonna slide this bad boy over here.
Love
Alternate number one,
Let's
now
do-
alternate number two.
Let's do a little bit lighter pours in there so we can kind of get a little speedy
sure.
on them.
Yep. We'll do that. So the third one, Jim Beam family, is the Knob Creek 9, which is 100
Classic.
proof.
Abraham Lincoln's favorite whiskey.
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys
Yeah.
know to Abraham.
Yep. If you want to find
We
out
always
some
do.
fun facts about Abraham Lincoln's feet, you go ahead and watch our Nom Creek episode we've done. Alex is a big fan of that episode.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
on
actually
on
why you
record.
contacted us to
Yeah.
come on the
He's like-
podcast. Yeah.
I am also a connoisseur of Abe Lincoln's feet. Strangely, there's only one other person in the world, and it was him.
So really, just a fated meeting here.
Yeah.
So now Knob Creek, Jim Beam, but we do change mash bills. It's not as high of rye. It's 77% corn, 13% rye, 10% malted barley.
Oh, interesting.
And but it is 9 year, so it's
Half
age
the
stated,
rye.
9 years. It's half the rye, basically. And
I mean, this is quintessential of
it's-
quintessentials. I mean, one of the most classic bottles
it is. Well,
in
and
modern bourbon.
$35 pretty much every day, any
Yeah.
day, wherever you are, for the most part, you can find
we've
it on the
done-
shelf.
We've done multiple Knob Creek episodes. I'll try and link them in the episode here. But the rye is great. They're 12 years great. So, pretty
So
much all right.
if you tried the old granddad and the rye was a little bit too much for you, then give the Knob Creek 9 a try. It's $10 more. It's 35
Same proof.
as opposed to 25, but it's same proof, 100 proof. Again, different mash bill, but still we're staying in Jim Beam family.
Less rich, but same punch. It still packs a lot of flavor. The old granddad goes a little deeper and darker. This stays lighter and sweeter.
That's
So-
that corn. That's
I
higher
agree.
corn.
Yeah.
Higher corn.
But it's still dense. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot
Mm.
packed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty luscious. There's
Is there an age on this?
No.
9,
9 years.
Nine.
Which is
100
a
proof, 9
lot
years.
for
Yeah.
bourbon.
a $35
Sure.
bourbon,
That's,
9 years.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
And I mean, this is a classic daily drinker. This is one of my favorites, just easy to drink with a lot of flavor.
Yeah. In
Boy,
fact, for this episode, we had to combine multiple of our bottles
Yeah.
because we were all running low on it.
Yeah, exactly. We all went, oh my God, I don't know where I got to go buy another Knob Creek 9 because I don't. So we literally
Combined.
combined.
Well, what's your hot take on this Knob Creek?
I would say if you're a Basil Hayden fan, this would actually be the logical next step instead of the old granddad. I would actually switch the order a little bit. But it's more similar to the old granddad than it is to the Basil Hayden. Like it's definitely a different level of it's coming at you with more proof, more flavor. It's compact. It's going to hit you in the face a little more. But I mean, it's always great.
I'm going to
Mm.
be, I'm going to be a little,
Are you giving a hot take?
a little bit.
Yes.
Hey.
He's figured it out.
Yep.
Yep.
He's learning.
Um,
Oh no.
I like both of those way better than this. There's like a cleaner flavor I get out of this. There's like a sanitizer cleaner thing that I get on the flavor at least. And the burn is a little more unpleasant than it was on Old Granddad. I know you just said that there's more of it. But yeah, this just doesn't. The experience on this is just not as pleasant as those other two were.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Get him out of here.
Yeah,
He's
no,
fired.
it's awesome.
Dusty Basements. We no longer need your services
No, I think that's
here. Nobody talks. Rule number 35. No one talks bad about Knob Creek 9. How did you not read the rule book?
I don't read.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know how you would rank all of these
Yeah.
necessarily, but I would say I actually like the old granddad Bottle and Bond more than the Knob Creek 9. Like that hits me in the right way, whereas the Knob Creek is good, it's solid, but if I could choose between the two, I would almost always take the old granddad.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's less expensive than
Yeah.
this too.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So Basil Hayden's about $53, at least in this market. Old Granddad, roughly $25 in this market. Knob Creek, about $35 in this
So-
market.
I will say real fast, I don't think we found a replacement though for Basil Hayden yet.
No.
I think
Right.
the proof,
I mean, having
Basil
tasted
Hayden
that,
is so easy drinking and with a lot of flavor for an 80 proof.
I don't know of a bottle that is really like the closest I can think of is maybe regular larceny.
Yeah,
And
but it's
even-
really funky.
And even that's 90 proof and that's
Yeah.
it's not the same
I-
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
curious if these are if you're wanting to take the next step. It's funny. It's like you're stepping up in quality, in my
Down
opinion,
in price.
and then down in price.
Yeah.
But it may not be as an easy of a of a drinker if you are used to the 80 proof, but these just have such powerful flavors that it's worth it to go down that rabbit hole. But
Well, and I think that's my problem with Basil Hayden is there's nothing wrong with it
not at all.
as juice, but they're branding it like it's their premium stuff when they have all these other cheaper bottles.
sure.
And it's like, what? That's not premium compared to these. That is, it's
I think
reversed.
it's brilliant marketing because, like I said, I'll refer to you. 3 different people have gifted me Basil Hayden.
No, I mean, they're killing
because
it.
they go to a shelf and they go, "Oh, this is sort of pricey and looks really nice, so this must be good." Type deal.
Got a belt.
It used to not be expensive, and they used to have duct tape over it. Like literally, when you bought a bottle, there was a strip of duct tape over the cork of it. Like,
which that's pretty epic.
It was interesting and unique, but it wasn't like, ooh, we're premium.
Yeah.
They've pivoted for sure.
The only other thing I'll say though is, I'm not that we're necessarily looking for a replacement for Basil Hayden, but on the different tastings I do, blind, many Basil Hayden's drinkers choose one of these other ones that we're sampling when it's blind, if that makes sense. So we're just trying to give you potential options.
Yep.
Not saying Basil Hayden's a bad thing at all. Just saying, here's the Jim Beam, some of the Jim Beam family.
That Knob Creek is huge. Like, mouth is super slick afterwards too. Big remnant.
A lot of cherry on that. Well, the next one, which is going to be a grand departure from the profile of Basil Hayden. Like, these already were.
Yeah.
This is even more so. And I don't know, like, don't hit that snooze button. I don't know why you sleeping,
Oh boy.
but you gotta stop sleeping on Bakers.
You're bringing it back.
The Baker's 7. So Jim Beam, here
You
we
know,
go.
People have been sleeping on Bakers for quite some
We
time.
keep telling you to stop sleeping on Bakers.
Yeah. This bottle has an unfortunate cap.
The butt plug.
Yeah. The butt plug binky, not to be
It's called a butt
used
binky.
at the same time.
It's a butt binky.
Not to be interchanged, okay.
It's so unfortunate.
But it is an unfortunate cap, but the juice that's inside of this is fantastic. So
it's just
yeah. Isn't that unfortunate? Jim Beam needs to watch this podcast. They need to realize they need to change the topper.
Oh, they know.
They know.
They know.
and what is this?
I don't know.
What is the gap?
Mind the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the
Oh,
fuck is
listen
that?
to that.
about?
It's a power. It's so you can grip it and rip it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually bugs me a lot.
Yeah. I do not like
This-
the
You think it bugs you now?
I don't like the topper, but the bottle itself is kind of cool. Baker's we've done an episode on Baker's. Go check it out. That was our 107 lineup. Wasn't
That's true. I think we
Yes.
were doing
Yeah.
Weller 107.
Weller
and then-
107, Baker's.
it? And a few others.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to try. I haven't actually had this since the episode. I loved it then.
So here's the deal. It's the same mash bill as Knob Creek. Okay. Only this is Baker's now we've jumped over the Basil Hayden price. You can get a Baker's for about $59 or $60. Basil Hayden around here for $53. But it is a single barrel, aged 7 years minimum. On the neck here it says this one's aged 7 years, 2 months. It's 107 proof, so obviously up in proof.
Big
Yeah.
proof.
But it is the Knob Creek mash bill. So different mash bill than Basil Hayden. Basil Hayden's
Less
old.
rye.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So Alex, I'm curious if this is the same mash bill. I'm curious if you have a similar reaction. But for me, very similar to Knob Creek, much more of a punch, but it goes on for days.
I mean, dude, just the nose
Oh,
of this
I'm
is
getting orange rind on the nose.
The nose
I'm
is
getting
great.
brown sugar.
Brown sugar, orange
Cinnamon.
rind, orange oil, a little cinnamon.
I do get a little dusty cellar.
Yeah. No.
That's
to
just
me,
your
to
clothes.
me-
That's your
to me-
namesake.
I always,
Oh, that's me. Apologies.
No, for me, the dusty cellar merges into the peanut shell.
Absolutely. Yeah.
J Peanut Shell.
But again,
DJ
Jim
Kraken
Beam
Peanut.
Jim Beam family.
DJ
Um,
Cracker Peanut.
Yeah, and that's just a malt.
so what do you?
Oh, I do love the nose of this. Wow.
And you
So
know what?
rich.
You can get your schnoz in there quite a way, even with the 107
Yeah.
proof. It's not.
This does
At
not
least for-
smell
how
as proofy.
No.
Alex, how about?
We've also been taming our nose throughout, this podcast, but for 107, I think I'm getting a phone call.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're getting a phone call.
Well, anyways.
Can't believe that emergency happened.
Wow.
That was
That's an
wild.
emergency.
That was crazy.
Newlyweds, I love
should
you.
be at the hospital right now to help out, but you know what?
Yeah. Priorities.
I ain't sleeping on Bakers. Okay. So all around, this bottle is just deep. It's wide. It's everything
Have
I
you
want.
tasted or smelled?
I've done both.
Would
You've
say
done
it's-
both.
Would
Don't
you say
say
it's
wide.
girthy?
It's deep and wide. It is really luscious and lush, but it's just a fun bottle. And I know we've been building up, and I almost feel like it's easier to drink than the Knob Creek. And Alex, I want to hear from you. Do you feel the same way?
You're pressuring him.
I'm pressuring.
I mean, I think so. It's more intense, but it's still. I think there's more sweetness to it, so it actually is more of an easier experience than the Knob Creek is.
Yeah. It definitely. I think it is for sure. I agree with what you're saying. I know we were just saying we're up a few proof, so it's a little strange, but the burn is it's much a smoother transition from the richness in the front with mostly malt character. We're getting a lot of that, right? Sweetness and kind of richness, and then fading into the burn is a much smoother experience. And the burn that I was getting on the Knob Creek is a much kind of more uneven, harsh
Sure.
experience. I keep using that word, but yeah, this is much more of I think a good sort of version of that for me anyway.
And Alex,
Yeah.
have you tasted anything we've had tonight? Have you had before?
I've had the Knob Creek before.
You've had Knob Creek
Yeah.
before, okay.
Yeah, no, that should be stated. I am much less exposed to a lot of this than you all.
No,
are.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious about that.
Totally.
I don't know if you've had any of this. I hadn't had Basil Hayden in years,
Yeah.
quite frankly. But the others I've
Yeah.
have clearly.
But
I've
so,
had.
if you are getting a gift for a whiskey drinker, I mean, you have your answer right here. I don't even know what you guys have up next, but this is leagues. It's more expensive, but it's leagues above all these other Jim Beam products, like by far. This is a whiskey that's going to blow someone's mind because it lasts forever. Someone's going to be sit there smacking their lips for 5 minutes because it's just like, wow, this tastes so sweet and good for so long. And that's kind of the difference between a lot of these. Even the Old Granddad is $25. Well, it doesn't have the refinement of what the Baker's has.
If you're giving a gift for somebody,
Yeah.
and you were going to spend $50 or $55 or whatever on Basil Hayden, you might as well just get Baker's.
Yeah. I roll the dice.
If they're
to get
if you're
Baker's.
getting whiskey for someone that is a whiskey person, almost guaranteed they would probably like Baker's better than Basil Hayden, and they may not have it because everybody's sleeping on Baker's.
Everyone is sleeping on Baker's. Not
But
for long,
if you're
though.
not really a whiskey drinker,
then Basil Hayden makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If you're getting a gift for somebody that does not drink whiskey, that is a great bottle.
It's very, very smooth and drinkable.
Yeah.
the Bakers or
I'm sorry, the Basil, yeah.
Basil.
I was surprised. I was expecting to come in here and just be pooping on Basil Hayden. I was getting ready for it, but I
Everybody
was
pooping
pleasantly
on
Well,
surprised.
and I'm not going to poop on it because if our viewers
That's
like
butter
it,
noodles.
then you like it. But I'm going to say for me, for $53,
Yes,
I'm going to take, for me, where my palate is, I'm going to take any of the other three options over because they're all,
Yeah.
Baker's is a couple dollars more, like $60, $59. But the Old Granddad, 25, Knob Creek, 35. I would take any of the others over Basil Hayden.
You're going to take 2 bottles of Old Granddad.
I will take
Yeah.
2
Heck
bottles
yeah.
of Old Granddad.
Do we have another bottle?
and Bond. Yeah, technically.
Oh,
We're going off the
What is
rails.
that, man? This is
Old
platform
Granddad,
This is not
114.
scripted.
Oh boy.
hold on. Here, I'm gonna override here real
Uh-oh.
fast. Okay. I don't think we should go higher in proof. So let's get this off the table. Sorry, Rick. I'm gonna override here because we've been going up in proof and somewhat down in price, and then the Bakers kind of changed it. I'm asking you guys, give me a 80 proof bourbon.
Where?
That I see one over there, and it's super cheap. And you got your ancient age. This is one of my favorites. Yeah, plastic bottle.
Great presentation.
But how I view this is summer drinking, and it's summer. So
this is in an attempt to get closer to a Basil Hayden comparison.
no, this is in. Because this is a Buffalo Trace product, and I believe it's 80 proof. So
Yeah, it is 80 proof.
Yeah.
And it's super cheap. It's plastic bottle, everything like that. Same proof.
This is like $12 a bottle.
Exactly. It's super
not
cheap.
the half gallon. A fifth of this is like
So
$12 a bottle.
can something this cheap, that's 80 proof, go against something that's $50 that we think is a little bit overpriced, but has some flavor? And that's not even in the Jim Beam family. As someone who has had a mini of whiskey, we've all had many a whiskey here. When I put this ancient age Buffalo Trace liquid in my mouth, I'm reminded that I only paid $12 for a half gallon.
No. $12 for a fifth.
$12 for a fifth. I don't know prices.
It's like $20.
Yeah, $20 for a half gallon.
Crazy.
Now, here's a hot take here.
Nice.
Because $20 for a half gallon for something that's really light and easy drinking, I'm taking this bottle over Basil Hayden. For sure.
Although a definite different flavor profile.
Super different, which is interesting. Like
But-
both light and easy drinking.
But I'm trying to show a point here. We're not going up. We're going down to show you what is Basil Hayden offering. I don't know. Because
well, theoretically, it's the easy drinking experience.
but the value doesn't exist. There's zero.
agreed.
Like what do we hear? Alcohol content. What are we here for? Value. And we've been doing some
and hot bods.
yeah, we've hot takes and hot bods.
Dusty
That comes
basements.
first, and then value is third.
And then Dusty
okay.
Basements is fourth.
Yeah. So we've been going over some expensive stuff, recently. This is middle range, 50 some dollars. Well, you know what? You can do better. You don't have to spend that much money.
Turn the value up on its head.
Exactly.
For
You got yourself some ancient age.
for an entry value, like if I'm new to whiskey and I want 80 proof and an entry value, I don't need to spend $53 for it. Is your point?
Yeah.
That's the
and,
thing. Yeah.
And I would totally agree. The Ancient Age, which is a Buffalo Trace product, or the Four Roses, just basic yellow label, which is $20. Yeah,
more now.
23 or something.
Inflation.
And that's high rye. But this is buttery. This
Yeah.
buttered
super
popcorn.
buttery.
Yeah.
It's fun. And it's super drinkable. I could drink so much of this.
He disagrees.
I know he will. Because he's a dusty basement man.
I mean, you'll cut it out if you're trying to make a point. It's fine.
The point is a hot take.
Yeah.
Give us a hot take, boy.
Yeah, the butteriness is unpleasant. There's like a very slight burn, but it's not. I don't like what this is bringing. It's I don't think it's well balanced. I think the flavors all feel very kind of thin and just something about, I'm trying to pinpoint it and I'm having a hard time. And maybe that's to its credit. Maybe it is well balanced, but something about the combination of flavors is not coming off pleasant on my palate.
That's super
there's
fair.
Like a little
And
bit
actually,
of not good smoke.
I
There's a
agree
little
with
bit
you.
of- yeah.
But part of the problem is this is now coming after all
Yeah.
of these other ones, which is completely, our palates are crazy right now.
Sure.
So if we go back to the Basil Haydens again, it might be super different also.
Don't mind if I do.
But again, to Austin, and I think and again, Alex is a brewer. I mean, a brewer for actual high beer companies, and he's been in several different states, at several different companies as a brewer. So I mean, the fact that you're bringing the malt taste and stuff like that, I find it extremely interesting. But Austin's take is, hey, if you are your entry level and you needed sort of 80 proof, there's nothing wrong with that. I was definitely there at one point in time. Your
drinking
point-
McNaughton's.
Your point, yeah, on a big ice cube, some McNaughton's on an ice cube.
Yeah.
That tells you anything. Your point is you don't need to spend $53
I don't think so.
to have an easy sipper.
It's Basil Hayden sits in a category by itself. and I don't think there's just so many other things. You can go cheaper, you can go more expensive, and I just say it's not worth it.
I think it's a perfect character study of why marketing works.
Exactly.
Yes. No.
This is a great bottle because they tell you it's a great bottle.
Yes.
But is there not a little bit of, and like I said, not nearly as exposed to this as you guys are, feel free to just...
Oh, I will.
Yeah. Is there not a little bit of, it's, obviously it's overpriced, but it is extremely smooth, and there is an obvious difference between that and this. And I know that there's a price difference, and so maybe that's why it's a little bit special, and as you said, in its own category.
So the one kind of counter to that would be, I feel like Buffalo Trace in general, not necessarily just this bottle, but like in general, they're leaning into the same kind of thing where it's like, we're going to make it sweet, as easy, like palatable as possible. And then we can jack whatever price we want to it and then create hype around it. And then it can be anything. And it's not necessarily, I mean, better is obviously an opinion, but like most people love Buffalo Trace stuff. Most Buffalo Trace stuff is sweeter than almost everything else. So they're hitting the masses with a profile that everybody will at least tolerate, if not really enjoy, or like surprisingly enjoy if they're not big bourbon people. And I think that's what Basil Hayden's trying to lean into as well, where it's like, we can give you something that's not offensive to anybody in any way, and then market it and then upsell it, essentially. That's what I think they're doing.
I think it's like Basil Hayden is at a middle of a crossroads, and we can all have different opinions about it. And I think it just shows that Jim Beam knows what they're doing. One way or another.
100%.
Whether you like Basil Hayden, whether you don't like Basil Hayden, people are buying this bottle. People own this bottle. People drink this daily. I can guarantee you. It's an interesting take. Like 80 proof for $50-some with good flavor, but not
watered down. It tastes watered down. So does
it's
this.
interesting. And I do not hate it as much as I was expecting.
You can't hate it. They've designed it to not be able to hate it.
It's quite like pleasant.
Yeah. It's just not special.
Yeah.
It's palatable to everybody. Yeah. So it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But also I love that we, it's one distillery doing all of these here.
I mean, Jim Beam.
So it's not like they're just only doing marketing stuff. They're killing it as far as liquid goes. Like
well, if you want some other Jim Beam cheap alternatives, try Old Overholt, right? Try Old Tub.
Yeah.
But Old Overholt's less than $20. Old Tub's about $25. All Jim Beam. And that's what a large distillery can do, is they can sort of experiment with stuff and then mass produce some really quality,
good stuff.
Quality stuff. Exactly. Yeah.
Tub is tub.
Tub is tub. That's, you heard it here first, folks. Tub is tub. Well, you like the episode because, we went through this whole thing for you to decide, do you buy Basil Hayden? Do you stay away from it? Well,
that's for you to decide.
But, it's interesting. Maybe if you got a little cash that you were like, well, I want to try something, maybe try it out and compare it to your own collection. You subscribe because you're going to see, some more episodes. We got stuff coming down the pipe. I don't know what our next episode's going to be, but it's going to be fun like it always is. So,
it's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild. Get ready for it.
Get ready.
The boys get wild.
Yeah, we got Dusty Basement here, so it's always going to be off the rails.
Thanks, Alex, for being here.
DB.
All right, folks. Bye-bye.